This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some big important updates to share with you. President Biden just signed a new executive order. Joe Manchin just spoke out about the Build Back Better bill. I'll play the video clip of exactly what he said, plus the video clip from Nancy Pelosi responding to Joe Manchin. We'll go over the latest stimulus check articles like this. Special stimulus payments up to $1,261 are available, but do you qualify? And this one, Ford stimulus check, how to get $1,400. President Biden pulls back his attempt to block student loan forgiveness, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So Biden signs executive order requiring project labor agreements for federal construction projects over $35 million. So more specifically, what this is about is the order applies to projects over $35 million, and according to the White House, could affect $262 billion in federal contracting. It requires projects to involve an agreement with one or more labor organizations while allowing all contractors and subcontractors to compete regardless of whether they are parties to collective bargaining agreements. So that's more on the working and construction side. Moving forward with Build Back Better, Joe Manchin has a dumb new reason for why he torpedoed Build Back Better. So Manchin tells CNN that Build Back Better did not go through the process. Take a look at this video clip right here with Joe Manchin talking about Build Back Better.
It's a weird time, though, for partisan politics, right? And I dare say it's a little weirder for Republicans. Right now, the RNC, just on Friday, censured Cheney and Kinzinger, two very conservative members of Congress, because they're participating in the investigation into January 6th. And in fact, they accused Kinzinger and Cheney of participating in the, quote, persecution of ordinary citizens engaged in legitimate political discourse. Now, you tweeted yesterday that that description is just plain wrong. We cannot allow a false narrative to be created. It must be uncomfortable to be a non-rigidly partisan person during this period.
During this period, yes, but it can be uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable when you say, I'm not going to align myself neatly with what the party is saying just because the party is saying. You've got to be comfortable enough in who you are and who you represent and why you're here. I mean, I'm not here to be the representative of the Republican Party. I'm here to be the representative for Alaskan people. And I take that charge very, very seriously. So when there is a conflict, when the party is taking an approach or saying things that I think are just absolutely wrong, I think it's my responsibility as an Alaskan senator speaking out for Alaskans to just speak the truth. And I think that that's hard because we seek protection in our lanes over to the right and over to the left. And that gives you company. But is that really why people sent you here? Is that really what they want? I don't think people in Alaska want that. I don't think people in West Virginia expect that. And so, yeah, it's harder. It is harder. The easier thing to do is just go along to get along.
Or just keep your mouth shut.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's not why we're here. We're here to do some hard things. And sometimes the hard things are to say, I want to get something done rather than just follow the messaging from our respective parties. Let's try to get something done.
I don't think politics was designed to be comfortable, but it sure as heck wasn't designed to be miserable. Okay? And it's almost turned into a miserable situation because common sense and just civility, collegiality, all the things that you would think that should go with it and you've heard about and the way it used to work, we're working like the Dickens. We have to work harder now to be together, to work on things together, basically to buck our leadership maybe at times. We've been very fortunate, you know, our leadership, Schumer, he understands what we're trying to do. He's been absolutely positive. He says, well, if you can get something done, do it. I've gone over and talked to Mitch. Mitch has been supportive of things that we're doing now. So basically they understand, and I think they all want us to work together. And like I said, it should not be miserable, and I'm not going to be in a miserable situation when I have good friends I can work with.
Yeah, but now you're under fire. It's not the same thing, obviously, but you're under fire for not supporting changing the filibuster rules so as to pass the election reform bills. Bernie Sanders has said he supports a primary challenge to you and to Senator Sinema. Schumer has not said that he is endorsing you.
We've talked about that and everything. And I told Chuck, and I were talking the other day, and I said, Chuck, basically the best thing to say that I would think in a situation like that, but they're going to support. I don't know, no way, shape, or form will Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer not support their caucus.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. Now, with that being said, I'd have said, sometimes you tell me, Jake, I want to be for you. I can be for you or against you. What helps you the most?
Yeah.
And Chuck, it might be in Chuck's situation. He'll say, Joe, I can be for you or against you. What would help the most? With that, you put a little levity to that, but I don't put any stock in that. I've had a primary. I've been running since 1982.
Yeah.
I have never run unopposed.
I'll be there for you, Joe.
You're going to endorse him?
Endorse me?
If he's running, I'm endorsing him.
See, there we go.
Is just a quick follow-up on something I asked in the previous segment. Have you talked to President Biden about Build Back Better in any way forward, a smaller bill?
We've had a conversation, but we really didn't get into that because right now our main concern is to get a budget.
You want a budget bill first?
We have to get a budget bill first. The bottom line is the budget bill. We just talked to the military. We had a security meeting, all of us there, and the geopolitical unrest that we have, especially with Ukraine and Russia, and with all of Europe and all of our NATO allies. And the military was there, and they were asked point blank, what challenges do you have if we stay with the CR, continuing resolution? We're working off of basically the last year of the Trump administration's budget.
Yeah. One thing I want.
They need help. They want a budget.
What are your thoughts on what Joe Manchin has to say? He pretty much says it with a straight face, sometimes with a smile, that he is just not for the Build Back Better, and just doesn't really say what he wants. I don't know how he's been able to do it for all these months, but he's pretty good at saying stuff without actually saying stuff. Anyways, here is Nancy Pelosi responding to Joe Manchin saying that the Build Back Better is dead.
And then I just wonder if you can respond. We heard some comments from Senator Joe Manchin this week saying that Build Back Better is dead. I know in your previous press conference you referenced possibly that it could be renamed or rebranded, taking...
Well, you got a couple different questions there. Before you go on to a third, let me address the first two.
Keep going.
First, well, we're going to be briefed. Mr. Mix will be presiding on our side at the briefing, the Ukraine briefing, and we want to move quickly with these. Now, that'll be up to the chairman as to the process and the rest. But we want to be as close to the Senate bill as possible so there's no delay in getting something to the president's desk. The second part is I'm never giving up on BBB. There's so much in there that is really important in terms of child tax credit, in terms of family health care for families, that is to say not just children, but seniors or siblings with disabilities and the rest, with universal pre-K. This is is about lowering cost for the American people, lowering the cost of health care, lowering the cost of child care, lowering the cost of family care, and cost of education at the pre-K level, and we must get something done. And of course, a very important part of it is what we're doing about the climate crisis. And there are plenty of things in there where I think that we can find common ground. So I'm not giving up on the PPP.
Potentially, I know you mentioned it could possibly rename.
Well, that's incidental. I mean, what's important is what's in the legislation. Lowers cost, increases pay, and is completely paid for. So one other thing about it is when we talk about inflation and people say, oh, you're spending money on this or that, this is completely paid for. Not only is it paid for, it will, in fact, reduce the national debt because it is, we raised so much more money because we thought we were going to do so much more. So I'm very, we cannot abandon it. We must proceed. Now, yes, ma'am.
Although Nancy Pelosi, as well as many other Democrats, say that they are going to come out with a new Build Back Better in pieces, rename it, rebrand it, or whatever, we still have not seen that. And they've been saying that for weeks, almost an entire month now since it got bashed again by Joe Manchin. Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. Next, let's get into stimulus. So, rare break, millions of Americans without kids now eligible for EITC tax credit worth up to $1,502. See if you qualify. So, this is the Earned Income Tax Credit, also known as the Adult Tax Credit. So, IRS officials have expanded the eligibility criteria, and 18-year-olds who have just come out of foster care who are facing homelessness can now get the credit. So it's saying that anybody without kids could get up to $1,502. And then if you do have kids, you could get up to $6,728 if you have 3 or more kids. So if you haven't filed your taxes yet, don't forget about the EITC, Earned Income Tax Credit, to see how much you could get from that. Also, this one, special stimulus payments up to $1,261 are available, but do you qualify? So this isn't really stimulus payments. This is just talking about Social Security benefits and the increase from the cost of living adjustment, also known as the COLA. So not really a special stimulus payment. It's just a boosted COLA Social Security payment. Fourth stimulus check, how to get $1,400. What this is just talking about is the third stimulus check and different ways of how to get that. So whether you had a baby, claim money from a dependent, or missing stimulus money. So this is just talking about the third stimulus check, not a fourth stimulus check. So misleading headline there. Then we have this one, stimulus check update. Americans haven't given up yet. So when it comes to a fourth stimulus check, Americans are still pushing for it. There's still people from other areas of not necessarily politicians, but professors, economists, still pushing for a general fourth stimulus check. For example, this petition right here, $2,000 per month to every American. It's currently at 3,029,000 signatures so far, and a lot of people are still pushing for it. Pretty much the only people pushing for a fourth stimulus check are the ones who are suffering the most, where a lot of these general state stimulus checks or UBI programs or state stimulus checks, city stimulus checks, they're not covering the low income or fixed income group of people. Those are the ones who are affected the most, especially with rising food prices, inflation, and their income stays the same, and they have to make hard decisions of whether it is to choose prescription, to choose rent, to choose a car to take them to work, or to choose food. That group of people are making the hardest decisions at the moment, and that's why they want a general fourth stimulus check, but it still seems like it's not there yet. Student loan forgiveness plan stall. What will happen when the payment moratorium ends? So moratorium ends at the end of this month, and in terms of student loan forgiveness, it's not going anywhere yet. So White House officials say Biden supports legislation to eliminate $10,000 in student debt per borrower, something he campaigned on in 2020, but that idea probably won't make it through Congress. And President Biden has also ignored the fact that he may be able to do it through executive order. He said that he was going to do research on it, and then, it's not going. Actually, sorry, before I said that it's at the end of the month. It's actually until May 1st in terms of student loan forgiveness. Sorry if I misspoke there. Also, Biden admin pulls back attempt to block loan forgiveness for epileptic man. So the Biden administration is withdrawing its appeal to block an epileptic student from receiving nearly $100,000 of student loan relief, a reversal of last week's decision, saying we're working hard to deliver relief to student loan borrowers and have reached $675,000 so far. We will withdraw the appeal in the Wolfson bankruptcy case and review how we can handle further future claims. So I guess, they tried to block student loan forgiveness for this one person. Didn't go through. It was a 35-year-old saying that he had struggled to find full-time employment after graduating college in 2010. And that's when he finally did 9 years later. He had a seizure while working for a ride-hailing service, and he totaled his car. So so that's an exception right there. Anyways, that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
This is the tip of the day. I tell you the one thing that you should do when you are close for a doll, or like your child, if your child wants a doll, like clothes, just say to yourself, try making one. Like this one. This one's perfectly centered, and I made the mask and all the stuff.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support and for being a part of the Wise Flies community. If you like videos like this, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and show all of that type of stuff on this video. Anyways, hope you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any videos on my other channel, Wise Vibes, Wise Buys, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.